Hello friends, the HPTO is excited to be partnering with our educators to bring you this special series, Fireside Stories. Throughout December, we will release a video of one of our Hopkinton School staff members reading a story. It is such a nice way to help us feel connected during these unprecedented times. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to encourage your family to become a member of the HPTO. The money we raise during the year through fundraising and membership provides each school with a budget the following year. Each school budget ranges between $15,000 and $25,000. Our impact in the schools is great, and we want to be able to continue to offer the same financial support to our schools as we have in the past. Fundraising events, book fairs, and extracurricular classes are impacted, so your membership in the HPTO is more important than ever. We encourage you to please take a moment to visit www.hptonline.com and renew your membership. The $25 membership fee means a lot to every one of the schools in Hopkinton. Please consider making this investment in our children's education. In the meantime, get cozy while you enjoy a story read by one of our amazing Hopkinton educators.
Hello, Hopkinton students. My name is Mr. Dimen. I'm the assistant principal at Elmwood School. Today, I'm going to read you a book called Crouching Tiger. It's about a boy whose grandfather visits him all the way from China. It's written by Ying, Chang, Compestine and illustrated by Jan Bene. Let's get started. Crouching Tiger. My grandpa was coming to visit all the way from China. When he arrived, I rushed out to greet him. "Hello, Grandpa," I bowed as Mom had told me to. "Ni hao." "Hello, Mingda." Grandpa mussed my hair. The next morning, Grandpa was dancing slowly in the garden with his eyes closed. His hands moved like gliding birds. He crouched like a tiger. He drew an invisible bow. He lifted a foot like a rooster and stood still. I ran outside. "What are you doing, Grandpa?" He continued his slow dance. I waited until he opened his eyes. "Good morning, Mingda. I am practicing Tai Chi." "Tai Chi?" "Yes, it is an ancient martial art." "Oh," I said, "like Kung Fu?" I showed off my fastest kicks and punches. Grandpa watched quietly. Feeling my face burn, I stopped. "Could you teach me, please?" I asked in a low voice. Grandpa looked straight into my eyes, then nodded slowly. As soon as I got home from school, I ran out to find Grandpa. "Let's start with a standing meditation," he said. Bending his knees slightly, Grandpa held out his hands as if holding an invisible balloon. "That's easy." I copied his position. Grandpa adjusted my legs. "Focus on your breathing and clear your mind," he instructed. Soon my knees grew tired. I started to wobble. Grandpa put his hands on my shoulders. "Stand steady. Breathe." How long did he expect me to do this? My arms felt as heavy as bricks. I dropped my hands. "Take a short break and then try again," said Grandpa. As the weeks passed, I felt cheated. Maybe Grandpa didn't know real Kung Fu. "Grandpa, my arms are worn out," I complained. "If your arms feel heavy, that shows you need more practice, Mingda." Although he spoke English perfectly well with Dad, Grandpa always talked to me in Chinese. "My name is Vincent, Grandpa." "Your Chinese name is Mingda. You are Chinese as well as American," he said firmly. On Monday morning, Mom announced that Grandpa would take the bus with me to school. "But Mom—" "No buts, Mingda. It will give you a chance to spend more time with Grandpa. And it's on his way to Chinatown. To avoid talking to him, I read on the bus. Mom picked me up that afternoon. When we got home, Grandpa was still out. What's Grandpa doing in Chinatown, Mom? He's training the lion dancers for the New Year parade. Is he teaching them how to stand still too? Mom frowned. No, Vincent, the lion dancers are serious martial arts students. They have been practicing for years. When Grandpa got home, I hid in my room. The next morning, on the way to school, I jammed my headphones into my ears to avoid talking to Grandpa. It didn't seem to bother him. He greeted people warmly on the street. A worker was hauling boards from a truck. A woman rushed past us, talking loudly on her cell phone. Unaware of her, the worker turned, the end of his board speeding toward her head. In a smooth motion, Grandpa crouched like a tiger, swept up a leg, and kicked the board, breaking it neatly in half. Wow, Grandpa, how did you do that? I asked. He smiled. Lots of practice. I started at your age. That night, when Grandpa practiced his standing meditation, I joined him. Over time, I could focus more on my breathing. My legs and arms didn't tire as quickly. One afternoon, Grandpa put a long bamboo pole into my hands. He taught me the catwalk, keeping my body low and walking slowly, shifting my weight from side to side. I meditated every day and practiced the catwalk while holding the pole up high. I kept hoping Grandpa would teach me to whack things with the pole, but by the time New Year's came, I still hadn't gotten to hit anything. On New Year's Eve, we cleaned the whole house. Dad cut my hair and Mom cooked a big traditional meal. Grandpa handed me a red silk jacket embroidered with dragons. Mingda, wear this for the parade tomorrow. My heart sank. All my friends would be there and see me in this silly jacket. I excused myself and left the table. When we got to Chinatown, Grandpa took my hand. Stay close to me. It will be crowded. I couldn't pull away from his strong grip. I hoped I wouldn't meet anyone from school. Shouts and cheers mixed with a crackle of thousands of firecrackers. Grandpa led me to a pastry stand. Ni hao, the vendor spoke Chinese with Grandpa so fast I couldn't keep up. Such a handsome boy. Here are your favorite pastries, the vendor said. He gave me a bag with meat buns, sesame balls, and coconut cookies inside. Thank you. How did you know? He smiled and pointed at Grandpa. He has told me many good things about you. You even study on the bus. Embarrassed, I avoided Grandpa's eyes. Let me pay for these, said Grandpa. No, this is my New Year's gift to you, to your grandson. They pushed the money back and forth as if it were on fire. Finally, the vendor stuffed the money into Grandpa's pocket. Go, go, the parade starts soon. Grandpa bowed. I copied him. Pushing through the crowd, we met a larger group of eager spectators. Ni hao, Grandpa greeted them. This is Mingda, my grandson. Ni hao, they said with big smiles. I jumped when one of Grandpa's friends thrust a hung bao, a red envelope that contains money, into my hand. Che, thank you, I bowed. They chuckled and stuffed more envelopes into my arms. Grandpa led me through the crowd to the beginning of the parade route. A group of men wearing jackets just like mine, carrying lion costumes, greeted Grandpa warmly. Meet my grandson, Mingda, Grandpa called out. Ni hao, Mingda. Lion dancers gathered around us. I had never been so close to the lions. I stroked their glistening scales. Let's get ready, Grandpa commanded. The lion dancers ducked under their costumes and got into position. Grandpa handed me a long bamboo pole with a cabbage dangling from the top. Mingda, you will be the cabbage boy. He leaned down close to me. I think you are ready for this role. My heart jumped with joy. Don't let the lions get your cabbage, Grandpa instructed. I nodded obediently and gripped the pole. Grandpa lit the firecrackers, signaling the start of the parade. The martial artists led the way. They leaped and whirled about with spears, swords, and other weapons. Grandpa signaled, and I marched off, focusing on keeping the cabbage just out of the lion's reach. People clapped and cheered at the top of their lungs. Many fed the lions hongbao. As we approached the end of the parade, Grandpa yelled, Mingda, let the lions have the cabbage. I lowered the pole. The lions bit at the cabbage and tore it apart, spraying the leaves onto the crowd. I was soaked in sweat and my arms were aching, but my heart was filled with pride. Good job, good job. Grandpa patted my head. The martial artists and the lion dancers gathered around us and bowed to Grandpa. Jeche, thank you, Master Chang, for a great parade. When Grandpa and I headed home, it was growing dark. I grabbed his arm. Grandpa, I said, I promise I will practice harder. Grandpa took hold of my hand. Mingda, remember that a good martial artist must first gain self-discipline. The standing meditation looks simple, but it builds your inner strength and increases your speed and power. I nodded. To study martial arts is a serious commitment. It takes many years of hard work and dedication. He paused. I held my breath. I believe you have potential. Thank you, Grandpa. I promise to do my best. Grandpa smiled. And now, he said, shall we enjoy those pastries? In China, there are two major schools of martial arts, Shaolin and Wudang. Shaolin was created by Buddhist monks as a form of discipline and defense. It requires external strength and encourages agility and reflexes. Wudang sprang from the ancient Chinese religion of Taoism. It is a gentle, slow art of movement and breathing, also called Tai Chi. It stresses the internal skills of stillness. Wudang encourages inner body strength. Many Chinese believe that in order to achieve outer strength, one must first gain inner stillness. Tai Chi is the foundation of martial arts. Today, Tai Chi has spread all over the world as a form of exercise rather than for fighting and defense. Chinese New Year is one of the most important and exciting Chinese holidays. It is a celebration of spring as well as the beginning of a new year. The Chinese lunar calendar determines when it occurs, usually between mid-January and early February. The celebration lasts for 15 days, with feasts, parades, and fireworks. During this time, children bow to their elders to show their respect. In return, they receive hongbao, red envelopes containing money. To ensure a happy and lucky new year, families prepare in many ways. They clean the house to sweep out the old and welcome the new. Children get their hair cut to leave bad luck behind, and they wear new clothes to confuse evil spirits. I hope you enjoyed that story today and that you've learned some things about the Chinese culture. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.